Don't mind this. But anyways, yeah, before this video begins, there is a brand new code. And, you know, Nikke, I don't know what's been going on with Nikke lately, but they've been putting out a boatload of codes. So all you're going to do is head to this little bell icon at the top, scroll down until you see CD key redemption portal, click tap to enter, and then you're going to copy and paste the code that is going to be in the pinned comments down below. Or you can just type in capital AS2Z17VXM, and if you redeem it, guess what? You're gonna get a successful notice, and then you're gonna head to your mailbox and claim a whopping extra 100 gems, and that's 100 more gems that you had before. And guess what? A lot of you guys might be like, oh, that's nothing, but I've been told a lot of people done got their Scarlet or their Cinderella or their Grave or whatever it was through this. So let's see if your boy can get anything. Of course we can't get nothing. I'm gonna just start the video after these free singles, right? Clearly we're not getting nothing. Make sure you guys go ahead, get your gems, all that stuff. Let's get into the the video. Alrighty, y'all, so today we are still using Grave, but this time we're going to be experimenting a bit. Now, I didn't really like this character for a while until, shouts to Dr. Konoha, I seen a video where when Eleg came out, he had made a video of this character just going crazy, and ever since then I've been liking this character more and more. I've been investing into them a bit more, and that is Snow White. Now, if you don't know why Snow White is the topic of this video, is because she has, guess what? The pierce effect when you use her burst skill. Not only that, she's giving herself crit rate, and she is giving herself an attack buff and all that stuff when you attack 30 times. It's all those little things, right? But we're running her with Grave. Now the point behind this team is that we have Zwei on the team, because Zwei also gives crit rate and then also pierce damage on her burst skill and her first skill, and then again the crit rate, which is going to be helpful. We have Grave, who's giving us the pierce damage on both her first skill. Well, this is after her burst skill, so it's not really anything crazy to me, but she's giving the attack damage buff and then obviously the pierce damage buff, which is good. Snow White, who is again the main showcase. We have Maxwell, who's giving us the charge speed buff and then the attack buff of 37%, as well as nothing else. And then obviously, and she also, it does have the pierce effect as well, so we could use her as DPS as well. And then we have Crown as a freaking off-field burst too, because we want this attack buff when we enter the burst skill of a full burst, essentially. Like, that's what we're here for. So we're gonna see how much Snow White is about to go crazy. If you guys enjoyed these videos, make sure you guys subscribe, and like, we're gonna try this outside of shooting range as well. I doubt it's gonna be as crazy outside of shooting range, but we have overload gear and all that stuff. I didn't even showcase that, but I will in a second. So do we get 30 bullets off? Okay, I think we got 30 bullets off. Okay, wait. So this is her burst skill. I got her skin and stuff when, okay, she's at 2.1 million, right? 2.1 million. Okay, okay, we got a core hit, but we didn't get a crit there. We got a core hit, but we didn't get a crit. Let's keep going, actually, though. Let's see how powerful like Snow White is, just constantly, right? We did not get a crit there. Okay, boom, boom, and then obviously there you go. Maxwell, what is Maxwell at? 6.3 million to 24 million, and Snow White is at, I mean, Snow White's normal attacks are hitting okay. They're nothing too crazy, but they're hitting okay. I guess you're gonna see her skyrocket more during her full burst, right? Even after she uses her full burst, you should see her numbers go way up with all the buffs she's getting, right? So again, we're at 66 million. That's going from 66 million to 105 million, and then she's averaging what, 150,000 if she gets some core hit crits, and then just 60. Yeah, so I mean, her damage, is it bad? No, not really. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's not like, I wouldn't say it's, I mean, 100 million after 2 burst skills, is that bad? I wouldn't say so. Kind of is though. I don't know. She's type advantage here. It's not really like all that crazy for me, but it works, I will say. Like, it's not, let's not act like it's not gonna work. By the end of it, I think she's gonna have pretty good damage regardless, right? I think because we have the burst generation as well. Like, that's why we're getting our burst so quickly. What are we at? 123 million. Could we get them crits? There we go. There we go. Yeah, so she's averaging like 45 million a burst skill. Well, from just her shooting, just from her shooting, we're averaging 45 million a burst skill, which I think is pretty good. Right, I think 45 million for a character is pretty good. During a burst skill, I think that's pretty good damage, right? Is it the best in the world? No, I would say godlike is like 100 million during a burst skill, but 45, 50 million during a burst skill is definitely fantastic. On top of her normal attacks, we're going 250 million or whatever. I do think, yeah, she's pretty good with this comp. I think it works well. I think a lot of people who have their Snow White more invested than me will get more out of this than someone like me, but we're at what, 180, 190 or 189, 55 million core hit, crit 244 million. That's like fire. That's so fire. And then we have a little bit of time to shoot and get more damage in, but that's so fire. 55 million core hit crit, like I like that. Like I like seeing that from a burst skill is pretty good. So yeah, and Maxwell is, I mean, Maxwell isn't as high, but it's not bad as well. Like I would say Maxwell's a sub DPS, surprisingly, but I would say Maxwell's a sub DPS. We're gonna be able to get one more burst skill off with freaking Snow White here, and I think we're gonna get to 300 million, which I would say is pretty good. Pretty good, right? Again, not everybody has to hit as hard as Cinderella, but we are at 264k or 64 mil, and the boss is right there. 50 million crit, 50 million core hit crit, and now we're casually averaging, what's the number gonna be at? Because we're getting them core hits in. We're getting them core hits in. Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that. 324 million. I like that from Snow White. I do. Could we get higher? I don't know, because I have overload gear on her. We have what? Charge speed, attack percent, hit rate. Yeah. Charge speed, crit rate, hit rate. Yeah. Elemental damage, attack. Yeah. Attack and charge speed. Yeah. So our overload gear is pretty decent, I would say. I would say it was pretty decent. Was Zwei helpful here? I guess, yeah. I think we could get a lot better though. I think we can like get way better if I freaking, I don't know who I want to run here. We can do this. And then for the last one, like, let me figure out. Okay, I'm gonna run this team. It's the same thing, just this time with litter. I'm gonna put scope lock on, right? We're gonna have scope lock on just so that we can see a fair and balanced thing without the overload gear. We are core 7, level 400 and 10. So we are literally going to be able to see her with everything but the overload gear. And then from there, we're gonna have a little assessment, right? The next video I'm probably going to have, it might have already been, I don't know, but Crown versus Grave has to come out. 2.5 million. Crown versus Grave needs to come out. I think Crown is a better character, obviously, but oh, even there, that's way higher, right? That's way higher. 67 million, no crit hit. If I had Zwei, it would have been higher, right? Wait, we got 65 million, right? Let me take off litter, because the last time I tested out litter versus Zwei when it came to Snow White, we got more damage with Zwei than we did with freaking litter, which sounds so crazy to say. It sounds so crazy to say, but when it comes to these Pierce characters, I guess Pierce buffers just make you hit harder than regular damage buffers, right? Like attack buffers. I need to hurry up because I need to summon for Kaido on Bounty Rush, but let's take a look and see what this is at with Zwei, who is 10 and is giving us 18% crit rate. And then also 15% pierce damage here, and then 20% for one shot, and an additional 10% for 10 seconds. So a lot of pierce damage here, nothing but pierce damage as well. We're at 1.8 million. We got 65 million no crit before, 95 million crit, 95 million crit, no overload gear. I genuinely 10. Genuinely, I might 10 my Snow White. To get that much no overload gear is kind of crazy, because level 400 is something that I think everyone's gonna have. Like, if you've been playing since day one, you're already either at level 400 or you're about that. So the only thing that I don't have is the fact that she's core 7 or whatever, right? But still, let's take a look and see. 116 million. The boss is right in our face. 116 million to what? Okay, only 72 million no crit. 72 million no crit, but still, you guys see that's way higher than with freaking litter. So we get more damage with Zwei on this team than with litter for Snow White specifically, because she's getting an additional you know, thing when you use your burst skill, essentially, right? Well, not necessarily, right? Because is it in a full burst or what? Yeah, it's in a full burst. Okay, yeah, so literally. That's very good for characters like Maxwell, very good for characters like freaking oh, I want to try Grave with Laplace, with her favorite item. Laplace is so strong too, right? So I want to try that for sure. Okay, but now 206 million, the boss is well far away. 206 million, no crit, 72 million. So we're averaging 72 million no crit, 92 million with crits on the core hits, which is very, very good for a burst skill. Very, very good for a burst skill. If every burst skill I'm averaging damn near 100 million, if I get them core hit crits, and if I'm at, what is Maxwell at? 172. Same goes for Maxwell, right? If you actually build a lot of these characters like Maxwell, Snow White, if you actually invest into them, they can really perform, right? And Maxwell's a sub DPS, so for the fact that she's at 178 million right now is quite impressive to me. We are type advantage, yes, but why am I going to use Snow White other than her being type advantage, right? What are we at right now? We're at 295 million, 80 million there, no crits, 80 million though. But you see what I mean? Like, that's good damage. That's good damage, right? So I'm very proud of that right there. Zwei, again, this is why I always summon for all these characters. Zwei wasn't relevant until later on where I needed her for showcases and stuff like that. It's just hard for me to say, yeah, what is Maxwell at? 184 million. She just went from 184 to 219. That's pretty good. 184 million to 290 million, and the next burst skill is gonna land on freaking Snow White, which is good, right? The next burst skill is gonna land on Snow White, which is pretty good. I think we could probably get one more in for Maxwell, but I doubt it. Let's see. So again, 395 million all the way to a whopping bop. Okay, 468. That's good. In a burst rotation, that's good. 468 million. No, let's see what the final thing is in 3 minutes. Against the boss with no overload gear for this Snow White. This is again core 7, which a lot of you guys probably don't have, but still 475 million. Even before, just with the one dupe and the overload gear, she was like what, like 3 something. You guys can go back and look, but Graves damage is outstanding. She's not even type advantage here. Graves is not even type advantage here. Outstanding numbers. She hit more than Maxwell, and Maxwell's type advantage here, right? Grave outstanding, Maxwell outstanding, Zwei even pretty good, 110, that's pretty good. And then Crown 83 million, pretty decent, especially since you're type advantage, but you didn't use your burst skill or whatever, because we're losing out on a lot of attack damage buff from Crown right here, right? Either way, fantastic. The next video, or it might have already been out, I'm not sure, but Crown versus Grave is coming out either today with the Osaka guide or a showcase, and then also the thing, right? So yeah, that's gonna be it though. That's gonna be it. This is insane. I think Snow White is pretty good with this. I think any Pierce buffer, any Pierce character is good with Grave, and Graves is herself is good. Again, 200 people are making it seem like Grave is shit or something. 264 million is pretty good, but you guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Zxous. I'm gonna see you guys next one. I'm out. Peace.